You get home from work, there's nothing made for dinner, kids are hungry, you're hangry, and you're like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to order a pizza, or I'm going to pick out takeout on the way home, or I'm going to have Uber Eats deliver something. Sound familiar? This is a habit that a lot of us get into, and I'm going to tell you how you can break this cycle. So strap in, get ready for episode 248. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host today. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. Man, I try to really break fitness down into simple, bite-sized pieces that are easy to apply because I hate all the overcomplicated stuff in the fitness world. And my goal is to get rid of all that crazy crap that's out there and bring the simplicity back. For my return listeners, thank you for your time. I know there's so many other resources out there that you could be spending your time listening to, so I truly am grateful that you choose to tune into this. Thank you so much. And I love just being able to connect with you through this, whatever device you're listening to this on, whether it's your car radio, your computer, your phone, whatever. I'm thankful for this time. So without further ado, let's jump in. All right, so it can be really hard to, especially dinners, have on point. Like, life is busy, right? I work a full-time job. I have a family. I run Bones to Bulk, and I maintain my own fitness, and it's just life. Like, life happens, right? It's crazy busy. So how do you manage all that? How do you make sure that your eating is on point despite having an insanely busy schedule? And I get that, more times than not, eating out, eating fast food, whatever it is, it's more of a convenience thing than anything. Yeah, there is the addiction part, and, restaurant food is highly addictive. It's created to be that way, but that's kind of another subject. It's convenient to just be able to pick something up, right? So how do we break that cycle if we're in that habit of, getting home late and everybody's hungry and just going to a restaurant or getting takeout or whatever it may be? Like, how do we break that? So the first step is planning. Sit down and make a plan. Come up with some meals. If you need some help, like figuring out some meals, I have a free meal plan. I'll link that in the show notes to give you a few ideas for some meals. But, I think we overthink what food prep needs to look like. We all have those images of the millions of trays of food lined up on the counter, and every single one has chicken and broccoli and rice. And there's way more delicious food out there than that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like that. As long as there's seasoning and some sauce or salsa or something on it, because I can't eat that crap plain. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of healthy foods out there. And a lot of times normal dinners that we sometimes often eat are really, we can make them healthy with just a few simple changes. For example, tacos. Grab some ground turkey instead of ground beef. Add a can of black beans to ground turkey while it's cooking, and then serve it over lettuce and tomato and just a little bit of cheese and some salsa, and skip the tortilla shells and stuff, and voila, you have a really healthy meal. It's like a taco salad, and it's freaking delicious. Chili is another great one. Again, skip the ground beef, do ground turkey, add some beans, add some corn, some tomatoes. Can be a really healthy meal. You can make chicken pasta. Do a chicken with pasta, whole wheat pasta, add some broccoli to it, make an Alfredo sauce using cottage cheese and low-fat milk, and bam, you've got a chicken Alfredo dish. Like, there's so many options. Don't get stuck inside the box that you have to eat the same thing and it's always got to be bland and not taste good. Like, no, you've got to enjoy what you eat. So that's the first thing. Like, figure out what you like to eat, figure out a way to make it healthy. The second thing is go grocery shopping, with that plan in mind. Don't just go to the grocery store and haphazardly grab stuff. Make that plan, make that list, then go to the grocery store and pick up everything you need. Then set aside a half a day. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be that. My food prep for the week usually takes about 2 to 3 hours. That's for all the dinners, all the lunches. Breakfast, I typically usually just do a smoothie, so I don't really have to do much for prep for that. But my point is, it doesn't have to be crazy busy. Put on some music, pour yourself a glass of whiskey or a glass of wine or whatever your thing is, and, just have fun cooking and prepping food. It doesn't have to be a drag. It doesn't have to be terrible. Get your significant other in there to help and just have a good time. Again, play some music, have a drink together, prep some food together. It can be a lot of fun. Now, once you have your meals in place, when you do all this in bulk, it's so much easier. Like getting everything out, cooking a meal each night takes a lot of time. Like it really does. But when you're doing it all at once, it really doesn't take much time because you're doing it in bulk. You've got everything out at once. You're making the mess at once, and it's just so much easier. So, get a lot of containers, whether they be like big Pyrex dishes with the lids. You can get the throwaway tins, like the stuff you see a lot of times at Thanksgiving. They sell those year round, the little tins, so you can like make casseroles or whatever, put it in there, cover it with some aluminum foil, throw it in the fridge. So have a lot of stuff on hand to be able to store all this food that you're going to cook. And then, just heat up the oven. Or if grilling's your thing, fire up the grill and cook all your meat, whether it be chicken or turkey or fish, whatever it is. Get all that meat cooked. Season it up the way you like it. I'm a big believer in a lot of seasoning, like make it taste good, use what you like. I love doing stuff like lime juice, a little bit of olive oil, garlic. All that stuff is really, really good to cook my meats in. So get all your meat cooked. Then, cook your sides, whether it be rice or baked potatoes or quinoa or whatever your main side is, sweet potatoes. Cook a bunch of those and again, store them in your containers. Then you can cook a lot of veggies, or you can cut up salad in advance, or whatever your dishes are. If you're making more casserole style, I mentioned chili, that's kind of a big pot thing. Just cook it, let it cool, stick it in the fridge, the whole pot. That way you can just take it out and heat it up. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Don't get stuck inside the box of, again, that your food prep has to look like the Instagram pictures you see all the time. No, it doesn't. Like, make it yours, what you like, because you've got to enjoy what you eat. If you don't enjoy what you eat, you're not going to stick with it. I feel like with food, we overcomplicate it so much. We think that everything's got to be organic, everything's got to be, grass-fed this and grown on a mountaintop that and never touched by a human hand. It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate pool or whatever, no human hand has ever touched. Like, whatever, just buy healthier food. If you avoid the middle aisles of the grocery store and mostly buy everything on the outer edges, you're already going to make huge strides of progress, because all the stuff in the middle of the grocery store is all processed garbage. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't use any of those products, but it's a very small percentage compared to everything else. And here's another great thing about food prep. Once you start doing it, the first few weeks, it may take you a while because you're getting in the routine, you're getting used to it, you're still figuring out what meals you like, what meals you don't like, but it gets so much easier. I mentioned earlier that it takes me on average about 3 hours to meal prep for the week. It used to take me a lot longer. I didn't always start off being able to do it that quick. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You get in this groove, you get in this routine. Then you start not even having to have lists when you go to the grocery store, because you just know, like, okay, I need this, I need that, I need this. Like, it becomes second nature. So don't overthink it. Don't, feel like you can't have some fun with it, because you absolutely can. It doesn't have to be this terrible humdrum thing. Then another thing, get a lot of, like, either, again, glass or plastic containers to make your lunches in. Whatever you're making, whatever you're prepping, make sure you prep enough for lunches too. Like, so that way you can take it with you to work. Prep your snacks, get Ziplocs or little plastic containers. And maybe you're doing, veggies and salsa. Maybe you're doing Greek yogurts. Maybe you're doing hummus. Maybe you're doing some bags of popcorn. Maybe you're doing protein bars. Like, whatever you're doing, like, have those all laid out. Have everything set up for success as much as possible for the week, so that, you've got your stack of meals in the fridge so you can grab one. You've got your lunchbox, and you've got all your protein bars lined up, all your snacks lined up for each day. Like, make this a systematic thing, and it's going to feel satisfying when you have all that set up, because it not only frees up so much time, but it frees up so much mental space, because every day it's not this struggle of, what am I going to eat today? What am I going to get that's healthy? Because guess what? It's all right there. You can just grab it without thinking. You grab it and go. It's easy peasy. Does it take some work? Yes. Does it take some getting used to? Absolutely. Like, I'm not trying to say it's easy peasy in the sense of this is all just super easy. No, it takes work. It does. But it's going to be so worth it. And you're going to find you save so much time and so much money, because eating out is freaking expensive. That's another thing that blows my mind. Everybody's like, oh, I can't afford to eat healthy. Really? I spend way less than almost every single person I know who has a normal diet. Why? Because I rarely eat out. I don't buy a lot of crap. We buy things in bulk, a lot of grains, and all that stuff is really cheap. So, like, eating healthy does not have to be expensive at all. If you have an Aldi near you, my gosh, go shop at Aldi. Literally, my grocery bill went down $200 a month when I started shopping there. Not even lying. So, like, shop smart. Don't buy crazy organic stuff. You don't have to do all that. I mean, if that's your thing, cool, go for it. But personally, I don't think it's worth the extra money. I'm also cheap, so I'm not going to do it. you can eat healthy without going that route. So I hope this helps. I hope it gives you some ideas for how to set yourself up for success, for how to really get started with this whole meal prep thing and really get on track with your food. Because again, until the food gets on track, you're not going to hit your goal. If you found this helpful, then again, I just want to invite you, please head on over to iTunes. Even if you don't listen on iTunes, just go over there and leave us a review. It would definitely mean a lot to me and for this podcast. I just really would appreciate that. Remember, no matter what you're going through, what things you're facing, how much you're struggling with food, you can nail it down. You can conquer this whole food thing. You've got this.